We finally got stats on the new charge move Leaf Storm in Pokemon Go. If you're not familiar, Leaf Storm was announced to be part of the Season 7 Go Battle League move pool update as a brand new attack. And we finally got the stats on it. In this video, I'm going to tell you what Leaf Storm stats are, and if it's good or not in PvP and in raids. So when it comes to the PvP side of the force, Leaf Storm is a Overheat Clone, as we expected. So it's 130 base power for a 55 energy cost, and when your Pokemon uses it in PvP, it will debuff their attack stat by 2 stages. Now Overheat itself is pretty good, but I feel like it's only good in context of the other Fire-type charge moves that are available in the game. Aside from Blast Burn and Weather Ball Fire, and maybe Flame Charge, Fire-type Pokemon really don't have anything else reasonable to work with in their move pools, so Overheat is kind of like a godsend for them. And when you do look at Pokemon that do have those other Fire-type charge moves that are good, none of them really seem to want to use Overheat. They'd much rather use Blast Burn or Weather Ball Fire, or they'd much rather use the Flame Charge. So when you take a look at Leaf Storm in context of all the other Grass-type charge moves in the game, you'll see that Leaf Storm is kind of lacking even more, because Grass-type Pokemon have Power Whip, Grass Knot, Frenzy Plant, Leaf Blade, and Energy Ball to work with, all of which are considered to be decent Grass-type attacks, Frenzy Plant and Leaf Blade being 2 of the best, if not the best charge moves in the game, so there isn't really a whole lot of room at the table for Leaf Storm. Given how popular a lot of Grass-type Pokemon are and how good a lot of the non-Leaf Storm Grass-type Pokemon are in the game, I feel like Pokemon Go should have given it a 5 less energy cost, or maybe 10, maybe 15 higher base power to help it stand out more in the Grass-type charge move pool. But as it stands, Leaf Storm has a lot of competition from already existing Grass-type attacks, and things only get worse when you look at the Pokemon that receive Leaf Storm. The Pokemon that are receiving it are Sunflora, Celebi, Ludicolo, Roserade, and Leavanny. And when you look at their move pools, for the most part demand attacks that have lower energy costs. For example, Sunflora, Celebi, and Leavanny are primarily Razor Leaf users. So when you're a Razor Leaf user, you really want to have low energy cost charge moves so you can actually use charge moves before you go down. So you can actually have some shield pressure on your opponent, and 55 energy cost is a little bit too steep most of the time. When you got Sunflora really doesn't have any other options. It has Sludge Bomb, and then the other 2 charge moves are Solar Beam and Petal Blizzard, both of which are awful in terms of energy cost and performance in general. So for Sunflora, I guess Leaf Storm is an upgrade, but it's not the kind of upgrade that's all of a sudden going to make Sunflora good in PvP. When you look at Celebi already has Seed Bomb, a 40 energy cost charge move. Seed Bomb isn't the greatest grass charge move in the game, but it's certainly not bad. And for a Confusion user, 40 energy cost for something that isn't that bad is pretty great. The other charge moves it has is on the steeper side. Psychic is the primary one that it usually carries, 55 energy cost, and that is the same energy cost as Leaf Storm, but it has different coverage than Seed Bomb. So do you really want to lock both of your charge moves into being Grass-type charge moves? It sounds pretty risky. I could see Celebi maybe getting some use out of this just because, it's using Confusion for the psychic damage already, so maybe get a little bit of extra power or a little bit of extra threat from the Leaf Storm, but I don't really see it making big waves on Celebi. And Celebi also is a Pokemon that's not exactly in the meta, so I don't really see it doing anything to bring Celebi into the meta more than it already is. Leavanny is also a Razor Leaf user, and Leavanny has both Leaf Blade and X Scissor as low energy cost charge moves. So you could consider it having a little bit of room for Leaf Storm. You could keep X Scissor for the alternative coverage and for the bait, and then Leaf Storm could be a heavier attack. But like Sunflora, Leavanny really isn't a super meta Pokemon, and when you got the stiff competition of all the other Razor Leafers that are already good in PvP, and then you've got Leavanny having a high energy cost charge move that could maybe make it stand out, I don't really see Leavanny standing out with Leaf Storm. Ludicolo, on the other hand, could maybe make some use out of Leaf Storm because all of Ludicolo's charge moves are 55 or higher on the energy cost, so replacing Energy Ball with Leaf Storm wouldn't be that big of a change for Ludicolo and could maybe help it close out some fights with the higher damage, but Ludicolo is kind of hurt bad by the bubble nerf that happened. I think it's kind of ridiculous that Pokemon Go tried to like nerf Azumarill by nerfing Bubble, because why else would they nerf Bubble? Bubble was already a relatively mediocre fast move. It was usable, but it was pretty mediocre. And then they nerfed it to try to nerf Azumarill, which they failed at doing. And in the process, they kind of hurt everything else that was barely making it by with Bubble, including Ludicolo. So Ludicolo was pretty good before. Ludicolo was hurt really, really bad by the Bubble nerf, and I don't really see Leaf Storm bringing Ludicolo out of that slump there. The final Pokemon that gets it here is Roserade, and I'd say Roserade is probably the most equipped Pokemon to possibly use this attack, but Roserade itself is relatively mediocre, and to really make use of it, you might need 2 elite TMs to make it happen. Roserade's primary use is in the Premier Cup Ultra League, where it uses Bullet Seed and Weather Ball Fire to, get shields and spam attacks, and then it also has Grass Knot and Sludge Bomb to potentially back up the Weather Ball for bigger damage. Well, now it's got Leaf Storm, so it could drop that big Leaf Storm for big damage, big neutral damage, and if it's super effective, that's even better. So I think that is a pretty big gain for Roserade. Problem is Roserade's utility in the Premier Cup Ultra League is already kind of on the niche side of the force, and anybody that does want to pick up a Roserade out of nowhere to use in this fashion might have to use an Elite Fast TM to get the Bullet Seed, and might have to use an Elite Charge TM to get the Weather Ball Fire, both of which are event-exclusive attacks. So that is kind of heinous, because the only Pokemon that can possibly maybe use this attack to its advantage in a really cool way is held back by these Elite TMs. And if you want to spend your Elite TMs on Roserade, you could, and that would be cool and stuff, but I don't really think Roserade's necessarily worth the Elite TMs. So it's just a really awkward situation for Roserade there. So as an attack, Leaf Storm isn't that bad. I'd say it's on par with the other Grass-type charge moves in the game, but I feel like the Pokemon that have received it, aside from Roserade, would probably prefer receiving just about any other Grass-type charge move, or, a charge move with a lower energy cost than what Leaf Storm has. When it comes to the raid side of the force, things are even more awkward for Leaf Storm. It is a 130 base power attack with a 100 energy cost, and if you consider the damage window and the cooldown associated with it, it is slightly better than Solar Beam. But that said, Solar Beam's already pretty bad for raid content. Just about any other Grass-type charge move is probably going to be better than Solar Beam, so it being slightly better stat-wise than Solar Beam isn't really all that impressive. Things get even more awkward when you look at the only Pokemon that can possibly use it in raids, which is Roserade. If you look at the DPS TDO calculator, Grass Knot is apparently better than Leaf Storm, no surprises there, but in practice, it looks like Solar Beam will, more often than not, be slightly ahead of Leaf Storm. Not that it even matters, because we're going to be using Grass Knot anyways, but Leaf Storm in practice, on the only Pokemon that can possibly use it, looks to be a little bit worse than Solar Beam, so just kind of weird. Like, I know Leaf Storm wasn't introduced into Pokemon Go for raid content, it was meant for PvP, but, it could at least do a little bit of something in raids, right? So that's about all you need to know about Leaf Storm in Pokemon Go. In PvP, it's a little bit of an awkward attack because it's not bad. It is an Overheat Clone, and that's pretty good, but there are so many other good Grass-type charge moves in the game, and the Pokemon that are getting Leaf Storm, for the most part, really don't want to use it. They want to use a lower energy cost charge move. So Leaf Storm is just kind of an awkward addition for them, as far as their move pools are concerned. And then when it comes to the raid side of the force, Leaf Storm's just not good. It's just bad. I don't think any Pokemon will ever want to use Leaf Storm in raids. At any rate, that's all I gotta say on Leaf Storm. If you have any questions on this content, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my patron supporters. If you'd like to support the Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. And if you guys are wondering about Payback getting the move pool expansion, more Pokemon getting Payback, the only 2 Pokemon that can really use it are Bronzor and Bronzong, like effectively. Bronzor in the Little Cup if that ever comes back and you want to waste all of your Stardust on Bronzor so you can do good in the Little Cup, well there you go, even better and everybody has access to it. And then when it comes to Bronzong, Bronzong's primary counters are going to be like Steel-type Pokemon and Dark-type Pokemon. So in both of those situations, Bulldoze would probably be the better attack, but Payback does have solid neutral damage and can help you against Psychic-type Pokemon, so it's not a bad move for Bronzong, but just like with Leaf Storm, with a lot of those other Pokemon, it's just kind of an awkward move for Bronzong. Not something that necessarily wants, but hey, good job.